I think you're using your manpower to coerce me into. Hi, how you doing? Good. I just wanted to come in here and see your beautiful building, but also let you know we were here last night. We recorded outside at night. Okay. You guys were awesome. You could have come and talked to us. We don't care. We're fine with that.
It's till midnight. I didn't see.
We were up to your doors. Well, now maybe I'm concerned.
Just kidding. After midnight?
No,
it was like
it was
9 o'clock or so.
like 9.
I think it was 9, somewhere around there.
Anyway, we're First Amendment auditors, accountability, government accountability peoples. Here's our cards. And we wanted to just let you know that we were it's a beautiful city we're touring through, and beautiful building. Much appreciated the respect, even though maybe you didn't know we were here. Maybe we should come tonight. No, I'm just kidding.
Just sitting in here bored. So.
With the 3 shifters, they may have been busy around.
That's cool. No, that's cool. We saw a couple people. I saw a patrol.
They noticed us, but just.
And they were driving the city, and
like I said, I think they noticed.
I think they noticed us, and I don't know if you've looked on YouTube, but there's lots of videos where people, what we did last night, are being held at gunpoint, arrested, all sorts of stuff.
I saw one, like the Texas one.
Yeah, Patrick. With
the drone?
I haven't seen one with the drone, no.
There's one with the drone where it's surprisingly a really big building, and they're fenced. And one of the patrol, I think it was a deputy because it was a sheriff's office. And the drone, I don't know if the drone was going over the fence, but was going like straight up. And the deputy was saying, you can't do that, you can't do that. You can. And the guy was saying, what law says I can't do it? And finally a sergeant came out and said, leave him alone.
Yeah, that's an older one. That's the Batusai, and actually his name is Philip Driver. He actually got the 5th Circuit Court of Appeals to rule on public photography and filming the police in the course of their duties.
That one then?
That one's a few years old. Check out the newer ones. I encourage you to look at DeSoto. It's a very short video. A bicycle was behind an officer in a mall parking lot for about a minute, and the officer stops, slams on his brakes, gets out, draws his gun down, and yeah. There's that. News Now Patrick, he's young, does not mind, has some pretty big cojones, and walks in at very odd hours of the night in police stations with his camera. And he's had some interesting encounters.
You guys have no idea the interesting people we
You know, I guess, like, from our point of view, we just want to say...
Felix.
Oh, really?
You know, we're not doing it to get a reaction out of people. We actually don't want a reaction. Like, last night was perfect.
Maybe. We're going to look into that, actually.
But, I mean, like I said, we're about government accountability, and we're here doing legal things. And, you know, if someone was in front of my house or my place of work, I might be a little bit suspicious, check them out. But it's about being approached and not, you know, like, what's your name, what's your ID, things like that, you know. So far, we've been very happy in Washington State. Everything's been pretty good for the most part.
So like we're lucky.
In Texas, things don't happen as well.
Are you guys out of Washington?
We live in Liberty Lake.
Okay.
We live in Liberty Lake, and we love our police. I'm sorry, what?
You guys go around the country doing it? Or
I would like to. We just started. We're relatively new. The movement is catching national attention now. So far, the media, as the media likes to, portrays them as nuisance people. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure I know they're out there, and they are. There's pains in the ass everywhere you go. We are non-interfering. We are law-abiding. I've never had handcuffs on my wrists, not once. Would not like to experience that, but I know, doing what I'm doing, it's definitely a potential. It could happen. I plan on it happening, actually.
In Washington, we're trained well enough.
That's excellent.
The only issue you'll see from any of us is when we're actually doing something.
Interference.
Once we get we call it the obstruction here. If it's obstructing anyway, it's the only time we can actually do anything. Other than that, you can stand As long as you're safely away from it?
Safe, of course.
Yeah, that's kind of what we read up on. As long as we're at a distance, we're not interfering with anything.
What you'll get from us is, you know, you can say I'm reporting. It's like, good, so am I.
Yeah.
We're all reporting. You know, we have the mics and we have the cameras.
And we want that. We all want that. For your safety, for our safety, for everybody's accountability. Really. I mean, so, yeah. Washington State's been great. I'd like to take a trip to Texas and a couple of parts of Nevada. Oh, my God.
And the only
Oh my God, it's sad that you can be in this part of the country and do what I'm doing today and literally have your freedom taken from you for it, and then come here and have nice conversations with you guys. And then we were just talking to Moses Lake. We were in their state. Awesome people. I mean,
the difference is Washington is held to different standards. Washington is one, I want to say, if not the only, maybe one of two that has additional laws that those other agencies don't.
Texas does. They do. Yes, and that is the really hard part to swallow, is that these people quote that law to these officers and they don't care.
Wow,
so does California. So does California.
We're always trained and told, as far as our authority, we are the most confined, and one of the most confined in the country.
I got to tell you, I'm happy. I have not been disappointed by. I mean, we go check our videos out. We have at Sheeny. We definitely had an interaction. I had no issue, no line was crossed, no rights were infringed on. He had an attitude.
Right.
He had an attitude.
Ultimately, that's probably what will spark an attitude about it.
Well, and we understand where that attitude comes from. Like I said, a lot of the perspective from your side is that we're out here wanting a reaction from you. And that's not what we're about. We're happy to, if there is an interaction, like with him, we just talked to him about his approach to us.
Right.
And
it ended up good.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end, yeah. As a matter of fact, that chief said he's going to use it as a training video, and they're going to have a training. He showed his family. It's a good thing. Yeah. It's a good, you know, I didn't walk away in anger and get pissed off about it. I stood there and talked to him, and I let him know I was not happy about that and why. And it ended up good.
I'm curious, one of the big things I'll probably say right off the bat without even seeing the interactions is, you probably will get different interactions when you get to the bigger cities.
No, we know. No, we know.
Agencies.
I grew up in Seattle.
Those guys have to be on a different.
It's a lot different situation.
I get it, and
their bubble's not as big as ours.
That's why I said I anticipate having handcuffs on my hands at some point. I do, because I'm going to go to those places. I am, you know, this is new to me, but I think it's important. There's such a huge disconnect. And we are not here to widen it. We're here to bridge it. And there's a lot of us out here doing that. And it's growing. There's going to always, just like there's bad apples in our movement too. There's always going to be people who are going to give us a bad name. So, but we appreciate you. One last question for you. Do you have a complaint process? What is your complaint process?
So we do, and we actually have a form. It's a formal complaint form.
Okay.
So, you know, we encourage, if there is a complaint, if you were to make a complaint to me right now and didn't want to fill the form out,
yes,
I would say, you know, if you didn't want one, I would take your complaint and put it on that form.
Okay.
And we have actually a policy that states the levels, and it's a big policy. We don't, you know, it's a 500+ page policy, so we don't memorize it verbatim, but it's basically informal or formal.
Okay.
And an informal complaint, you know, for example, let's say somebody on a call says, I wasn't happy with that officer because, you know, I think he was
attitude
mean.
Or yeah.
And I'll go look into it, talk to her, talk to the officer. If it's a interpretation type of thing where, you know, I think he was just a meanie and he was cold and type of thing, that would be more informal.
Sure.
You know, cater more to, we're in customer service here.
Yeah.
You know, talk to the officer, this is what the complaint is, informal. Something more serious, it would be formal, and then we have a different process, and it would, depending on the level, it can be up to an internal investigation, which is sealed envelope, unions, bunch of rights, that far, and that's pretty much the highest internal. And then outside of that, if it's a criminal complaint against somebody in my agency, we can't touch it.
Okay. Interesting.
I would take the initial. Let's say, you know, you said somebody committed a theft or something. Mm-hmm. I would get your information, probably have you sit down, tell the boss, and then we'd get an outside agency to investigate.
IA, right? Good. I mean, internal affairs, is that who comes in?
It would be different. So if it would be a criminal, an outside agency would investigate the criminal end of it.
Okay.
And then
Like the Adams County Sheriff?
Another,
Sheriff,
oh, got
State
it,
Patrol,
got it.
Okay.
Mosaic is close enough. And
Got
they're big
it.
enough.
Okay.
There's actually a team called CBIT, and I forget what it stands for. Columbia Basin Detectives something. You know, it's basically all the agencies in our area submit as many detectives as they can, and when a big issue comes out, they send a team.
Okay.
And then they investigate it. So.
What about accommodations? What is your process on accommodations?
Depending on the levels, so we have a list.
Same kind of
Same kind of thing. So like we have our biggest one is a life-saving.
Okay.
So we'll do, you know, for example, we hear the medical calls go out, and if it's something where non-responsive, not breathing, everybody goes. And we're always going to be there before the ambulance, unless the ambulance is for some reason out in their van already.
Yeah.
We will be first on there. Guys that do CPR, we got AEDs in the car, do whatever we can. And we've had several. We've had maybe 3, 4 in the last 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And these guys,
That's so great.
These guys, they do just enough to where they can get them to the hospital with just enough time to where, you know, yeah, they may stay alive a little longer than they would have, but without their response, there'd be no chance.
Yeah.
BLS is the first line, basic life support, and so you obviously have BLS. I know you got to go.
I have a meeting in 10 minutes.
No worries, no worries. Thank you for your time. I won't take up any more of your time, but
So on those accommodations, just to finish up, we basically compile all the information, you know, deem it, yeah, this deserves a life-saving award. We do, you know, we can do like every, I think the first 2 or 3 Mondays of the month, there's council meetings, and we'll, you know,
that's cool.
Commend them up there, you know, give them the award.
Well, we'll be sending your department an email, and it will be glowing. And if you'd like to share it, we encourage you to share it definitely with everyone.
It'll take us a couple days to get it ready, but we'll send you an email when it's ready.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for your professionalism.
All right, thanks.
Stay safe.